Welcome back to another show, everybody. I'm so thrilled to be sitting with Brenda Lee, the founder of Attuned Guidance. Thank you so much for joining me today, Brenda. I can't wait to start this conversation.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so excited to talk to you.
We're going to dive into lots of fun stuff today, and we're also going to just see where the conversation goes. But we're going to touch on the quantum, vibrational frequencies, which is a huge love of mine, and synchronicities in life. But before we get started, I always love to start the show with people's personal transformative stories. Like, how did you get to where you are today? Because most of us were not doing what we're doing right now, 20 years ago, at least if you're on the show. So
Right.
I'd love to start off, Brenda, with you just sharing your own personal journey with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. I love these beautiful soul talks. So yeah, I was in the grind. I was in the grind for a long time, almost a 3 decade grind, and I loved every moment of it until the day I didn't. And it was around probably 2012 when I started to really have what I call an unfolding. And these layers had happened to me over many, many years, but I just didn't have terminology for it at the time, which when I was younger, it just made me feel different than others. And now I realize, yeah, I'm different than others. It's okay. I'm cool with being different than others, right? And so in 2017, particularly, I had kind of achieved a lot. And I thought achievement was financial and paying cash for your houses and having all these accolades. And I realized pretty quickly that that wasn't anything. And I was having conversations with my friends about what's missing. Like, is this all there is, right? And it was so much that my head was literally going to pop off my shoulders. I described to somebody, and they said, well, you just need a vacation. And it'd probably been 5 years. So fast forward, they mentioned you should go to Maui. I got a big yes. And 3 days later, I was on Maui.
Mm.
And when I landed on Maui, I got off the airplane, I checked into the hotel, and I went on the beach. And I literally met a version of myself I had never met before. It's almost when I landed on that vortex, it started speaking to me immediately in a soul language that kind of came up through my feet and through my body and kind of spread me out into the middle of the energetic field, still on the beach with hundreds of people around, but I knew I was the only one there.
Mm. Were you
That
alone?
every
Were you laying
I was
down? Were you
no, I was standing up. I was
standing?
standing up at the water's edge, just kind of in gratitude of how did I just get here? 3 days ago, I thought my head was going to explode, and now I'm here on beautiful Maui, and it was my first time ever going to the island, and I felt like I was home.
Hmm.
I truly felt like I landed home. And there was this connection to myself and up and out of my body. And I don't know how long it lasted. It was so beautiful. I just fell in love with myself, this version of myself that was connecting to me. We can call it higher self, we can call it source, we can call it creator, God, whatever anybody wants to call it. It doesn't matter, right? But she was connecting with me to let me know that I was home. So I actually knew right away that I was going to be living on that island. It was no longer a vacation.
Well,
And
that's a good place to be living.
it was so magical. Every corner was like heaven on earth. It
Yeah.
literally was heaven on earth, right?
Well, it's gorgeous there, first of all. Yeah.
Yeah, the feeling, just the synergy, the energy alone. It's a complacent energy, but it's an energy that makes you want to become a better version of yourself. And it's just a sweet, sweet place. And so I moved there 5 weeks later. I was on vacation 18 days. And I just knew the whole time I was going to live there. I went home, and 5 weeks to the date, I was back living there. I lived there almost 7 years.
Wow. Talk
And
about
I never,
intuition.
yeah, I just followed it. And, when I left, I was kind of in these relationships that they just weren't serving me anymore. They were superficial. They had no depth. I was craving depth, but I couldn't find it, but it was within me. And when I would try to connect with people, they just thought something was wrong with me,
Mm.
and which projected onto me that something was wrong with me. And so when I discovered Maui, I realized everybody's so free here. They're just free to go into self-discovery. And and they're all unraveling who they are. And it was just so beautiful to witness and to know that I could do that too.
Yeah.
So I started dismantling the narrative that I had been playing in my mind that anything out there could make me happy at all, right?
Right. Well, it's such a myth, right?
Such a myth now, but
It's
when you're in it, you don't know it because you're just in the program, right?
totally,
Yeah.
absolutely, 100% in the program. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, until you're not. And then when you catch yourself being in it and you have an expanded awareness of, oh, there is more. And by the way, I'm the one doing it. Nothing's happening out here, right?
Hmm.
So it was so magical. And on Maui, I started really lucid dreaming and astral traveling and having these, we call them out of body, but they're
Yeah.
really not.
Yeah.
They're happening inside because the universe is within and we're witnessing them. But because we're playing this game,
Yeah.
right, where this is our vessel and this is the projector projecting out what's within us onto this big screen of life, we say out of body.
Right.
So we can use that term so that your listeners kind of can get a visual of what that would feel like. But it's all happening
Inner
within us, but
world.
it takes you a while to even discover that.
Well, it's interesting you say that because there is that out. Everybody's thinking we're all leaving, going out, but, and I know your experience is leading us to, it's literally inward. And people say the multidimensional universe, it's literally in you. Like it's massive, but you're not going, like you said, you're on the bed, your body isn't going anywhere, but you are going, and it's not really out there. Yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
interesting. Hmm.
Yeah. So when I moved to Maui, I started really asking deeper questions than I ever had. And I started realizing that I was connected to this field that was actually listening to me. And I asked, literally show me who I am. And I mean it. I want to know, like, why am I here? Why am
Hmm.
I on Earth? Why am I on Maui? Why am I a workaholic? Why am I an overachiever? Why am I all these things that I don't want to be anymore? Show me why I even put on this mask,
Suit.
these
Yeah.
masks, right?
Yeah.
And literally, the first couple weeks on Maui, I just started astro traveling and
Wow.
yeah, I had it was like the northern green lights, the auric lights just pulsing through my body, and I'm wide awake and I'm thinking, what is going on? And then all of a sudden I'm floating in the middle of the universe and I'm in
Yeah.
this light and I'm thinking, I'm going to meet God. I'm going to meet God. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. You really do exist. And I was looking and I was looking, and then this light came and merged with me, and I realized, oh, I am what I've been looking for. I am that creation, that source. I'm connected to you. Are you within me? And then I started realizing that I was awake and my body was in my bed. So I wiggled my big right toe. And I was like, how can I be laying in my bed, wide
Hmm.
awake, wiggling my toe, and I'm here in the light of source, creation, all that is and ever will be. What's going on, right?
Yeah.
And then I met my council of 12 who started putting all the pieces together over time. And when they came, there was so much love. They flooded me with love. I felt like I had never been alone in a day in my life in that moment, but most of my life I had felt like I had been alone.
Yeah.
And I'm in where am I? I'm in my 50s, right? My early 50s. And I've just been working like a crazy person my whole life trying to achieve and buy things. And my counsel showed me why. They showed me everything I had gone through. And they didn't tell me that I would be sitting as attuned guidance as a guide because I was still working while I was on the island. I could work remotely because I owned the company.
Yeah.
And but they started giving me pretty big hints.
Oh, well, that's
Right?
really cool. Can I
Yeah.
ask you a question? So when you say you see this, the 12 lights, are you feeling this energy? Are you visually seeing? Like, how do you experience that? Because I know everybody has their own how they
Yeah,
receive
no, I
information.
see. So I have I have four clairs. I can see.
Yeah.
And so no, they appeared, in fact, they appeared as human,
Ah, mm-hmm.
with a glow around them. But I looked at them, and even though they were appearing as human, again, we're floating in the middle of the universe, right? In the
Yeah.
cosmos. I see stars, I see galaxies, and they had clothes on. I looked at them telepathically and I said, "You're not human." But they appeared and they all smiled and laughed. And then their clothes disappeared and they showed their light. And then they told me to look at myself. And when I looked down, I saw the same light that I saw in
Mm-hmm.
them. And I realized, oh, we're all one. We're all just the same. We're putting on these suits, right?
Right.
We're dressing up our avatar to try to appear differently because we're all just trying to see ourselves the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all witnessing ourselves. We're the one creation, right? And if we all looked alike and we were all just light, we wouldn't learn anything, right?
Well, in that moment, it seems like they're showing you the symbolism of who you are, right? Where they were mirroring you so you could see it. That's what it sounds like anyway. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there was a knowing that happened. I've had a knowing my whole life of just knowing to go here. Didn't know why. People are like, what are you doing? I don't know. I have to go. I
Mm-hmm.
never leave anything. I move towards something new.
Yeah.
And most of the people in my life have never understood that. And I couldn't ever explain it. I just have to go.
Yeah.
And so it's always my soul pulling me forward, right? As the lone wolf, right? Like the wolf on your wall,
I
right?
know. For
And
anybody that
so
can't see, yeah.
yeah, that's such a beautiful wolf, right? I can totally relate to that. And so when I was with my counsel, there was a knowing being transferred and it was all telepathically, right? And it was so natural. And it was like I had been doing it the whole time.
Yeah.
And sitting here talking to you now, that's how I speak to them. It's just a knowing and it's a conversation telepathically. It's energy, it's feeling, you just know, right? And so they just kind of heightened my knowing. They made me trust it on a whole nother layer.
Yeah. Well, that's what my next question that you just answered was, do you know or do you hear it in language? And most people I know, they say they just feel it like a knowing coming through them. Is that how you, yeah.
Yeah, so it comes so I can see things. I can actually see the entire quantum field. And then I have a knowing of knowing what's for me and what's for someone else. And then I feel everything. I'm an
Mhm.
empath, so I feel, and my whole life, everybody's like, why are you so sensitive? Why do you take everything so personal? Because I was so lost in the feeling of everybody's despair and sadness and there's always been a part of me that just wanted to fix everybody and rescue them, which I'm not doing anymore, which is like total freedom in itself. But there's a part of my heart that when I see somebody hurting, I still go there with energy of like, oh, I want to help you. And now
Yeah.
I know that I'm not helping them, that we have to help ourselves. We're pulling ourselves out. We're remembering how powerful each one of us are. And so we can't help everybody. We have to show everybody how to help themselves.
Right.
This is the new energy exchange, is to give them the true wisdom, the true teaching that you can unlock it within yourself,
Right.
right?
Well, for centuries, we've been taught to hand over our power to authority figures, whether it be, you can look at all the different areas of the world, right? Government, medicine, church, religion, everything is handing your personal power over to somebody else. And there's just this massive shift, it seems, as of late, that is really coming to show people. And I think, obviously you're one of them here to help people say, hey, this power is really within each and every one of us. And that's the beauty of it. It's already there. It's just about uncovering all of the crap, right? That we've been believing in, thinking for eons, you could say.
Yeah, what I've discovered too is people think, oh, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of work. So, first of all, anything you do in life, anything you want to achieve, anything you want to expand into, we are, evolving beings. So, evolve. Allow yourself to evolve, right? Stagnation to me is terrible. That's why I always go and I move and I leave. I
Yeah.
can't be stagnant, right? And so, yeah, it takes some work. When you fight it and resist it, it takes more work.
Oh,
But
yeah.
what I want to let people know is dismantling the program, the narrative, the story that's keeping you locked in fear, in lack, right? Stuck in the program of control
Mm-hmm.
is, is where you got to do your work, closing those doors, bringing your awareness that you're trapping yourself, that you have the power to say no, right?
Yeah.
But the new doors that open, the wisdom that unlocks, the expansion of your consciousness, there's no work in any of that. That's
No.
automatic when you work on the stuff that's blocking you from your power,
Well, and
right?
that's right, because the mind is so fixated on that, the
It wants to
blockage.
know.
Right.
Yeah, the mind wants to know what's ahead, but the mind has no idea what's ahead. It hasn't been there yet.
No.
hasn't experienced it yet. So you just have to say, that's not my thought. I haven't experienced that yet. I want to try that and I don't fear it, right? You have
Yeah.
to keep coming back. But people have to start listening to what their thoughts are.
Right.
And are those my thoughts? Whose thought? If I have a thought, I'm like, whose thought is that? That's not my thought. Who's saying that? Right?
Yeah.
And then you have to hear, what are you saying all day? To yourself
Yeah.
or to other people, right? You have to be aware. And then how do you feel when you're thinking and saying those things?
Yeah.
And once you start doing that work, the rest of the doors just open. The magic, the wisdom unlocks, your DNA, your soul trusts you, your higher self comes in, and then you're just on a scavenger hunt
Well, that's so true. Yeah. It becomes a scavenger hunt and you get
because the
excited.
answers are always around you.
Yeah.
All the answers you need are around you at all times. But when you're tapped into the part of the quantum field that's keeping you in your narrative, the answers to keep you locked in your narrative are all around you at all times.
Yeah. So
And
how do
it'll be
you help?
amplified.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you help people? Because I mean, most people, right, are stuck and they think that everything's happening to them. They're the victim of life circumstance, right? So how do you, in your work with people, how do you help them, and some people are probably more receptive of this than others, but how do you get them to say, okay, it's actually happening for your benefit, even if it appears bad, right, to the mind? It's actually teaching you, helping you learn something, and opening the door to something else, like you're saying. So, how
Yeah.
do
So
you help people with that?
yeah, if you want to get out of the control of the government and the systems that are keeping you blocked, you have to get out of the control of your mind.
Yeah.
Because your mind trying to control your ability to move forward and try new things is the same as the government and all of the modalities that you mentioned earlier, keeping you stuck in the narrative that keeps you in lack and in fear, which makes, the 1% happy and the rest of the masses, suffering.
Yeah.
And so, we have to get to the heart of the matter. And the big word is truth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, we have to get to the truth. And so I have a really good gift of knowing and feeling what people aren't telling me.
Yeah.
And I've had this gift as a little girl. I always knew when people were lying. I knew when they were hurting. I knew when they were sad. I knew when they were bad
Mm-hmm.
people. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and I always thought something was wrong with me, and I could always see things playing out, but I would bring my perfectionist personality to it to try to pick it apart. And now I know I see everything to help others learn how to see,
Yeah.
right? And so it's a practice, but the first we have to get to the truth. And if people don't want to face that they're the ones doing it to themselves, then we don't get very far.
No.
But when we can start to take accountability and want to know, how am I trapping myself? Because everything happens for me and not to me. And if you're not going to play a victim anymore, stop playing a victim fully and start seeing how the entire universe and everybody in it is actually trying to help you with what you want, which is to get past everything. It's
Yeah.
all around you, but whatever you focus on amplifies
Oh, yeah.
to make your reality bigger.
Yep.
And
That's
so
so
we have to
true.
dismantle the program. I'm a program cracker. We crack the program.
Yeah. It's so funny you just say this. I was literally just having lunch today with my son and my parents, and my son is struggling with his job and that he doesn't like what the higher ups are saying. And, but he's constantly feeding the narrative of how bad it is. And so he's just feeding that. Right. And so today I just said, hey, you know, maybe you should just try to focus on, you're leaving soon. So maybe you just focus on the next thing, and it's just a job, and then you move on. But it's so hard to get through, and people, you can almost see the looping going on in the
Yeah.
mind. And maybe you can explain this too, in a deeper way, but people don't realize they're not the mind, right?
No.
And
Yeah,
so,
we're not the mind at all. We're not the body. We're not the mind. We're the soul, right?
yeah.
Look, the soul is on a grand mission of evolution, right? I mean, when you think about it, how could you even want to get in the way of that?
Well, that's so great to say, Brenda.
You
But
know what
why
I'm
would we want to?
saying? It's like, who am little old me, who I think I am, wants to get in the way of this soul who came down to earth lifetimes that has a mission? Like, why the hell would I want to step on her toes, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like your son, what he could do is to just focus on what he's grateful for in the job. Because if he's only focused on all the negative, then that amplifies negative. See, the universe is on two frequencies. You're not judged.
Yeah.
There's no judgment. There's no right or wrong, good or bad. And so if you want to live in negativity and you want to complain, the universe goes, "Oh my gosh, he really likes that. Let's give him some more."
Mm-hmm.
That's how powerful you are. So if you just tune into gratitude and, well, I'm just grateful that I have a job, and I'm grateful that I got here safe, and I'm grateful that I get to pay my bills this month. And that actually brings in new experiences
Yeah.
into the field. And then what you do is say, okay, what is the negative around me teaching me about myself? What are the people that I don't like around me that are triggering me, that are saying things? What are they teaching me about me? Because
Mm-hmm.
they're just a reflection. I'm just this soul in this vast reflective experience to discover and remember who I am, right?
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
I think that many people don't realize they're here to remember who they are. You know what I mean? Like they're just doing life. Most of people are
Yeah.
in survival mode. And I think sometimes, like you said, until you get to a point, and you were working a lot of, you did a lot of work, right? You worked yourself.
Yes.
And so maybe you can share, because were you in that mindset? And tell everybody what you used to do, by the way, because it's kind of interesting. And then
Yeah.
how
So
did you
I,
get, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I worked in private aviation and I was in almost 3 decades. And the last 15 years of it, I owned my own business and I managed private jets and brokered other people's private jets. And I flew around celebrities and rock stars and royal families. And, it was a lot of fun. And I really, they say you got the jet fuel in the veins. And it was very exciting for me. I started in my mid 20s and it was amazing. But what happened is, I was an overachiever and a workaholic. And then when you're working 16 hours a day and you haven't had a day off in 5 years, and I owned the company because I was just such a control freak and a micromanager, and I just became exhausted, which I think is why my head was going to pop off my shoulders
Hmm.
because I'm have the money, but I'm inside. I'm like, is this it? This can't be it. Why did I just work 30, 40 years? Right. This
Right.
is it. And I'm still young, I'm only like 49. I've got another 30 years of this to go. I don't think so,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I loved it, but I was definitely a people pleaser. I was an overgiver and I was terrified of conflict,
Mm.
terrified. So I never spoke up when I needed to set boundaries, right? I would just let them fester and let people get away with murder. And then when I would speak up finally, years later, there would be an explosion and they'd be
Mm.
like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I've been mad at you for 3 years." You know what I mean? So funny. It was so dysfunctional, and I knew it was dysfunctional, and I wanted to find my voice, not in business. I was really good at business in my personal life, but it bleeds over.
Hmm.
And so, when I got to Maui, I felt this freedom. I felt guided. I felt surrounded, and I felt like it was safe for me to drop all my masks. And so when I did that and I started doing the work, which happened very fast,
Hmm.
the dismantling in my program, the minute I started figuring out how it all worked, I was just like cutting it out. And what happened was I was no longer resonating with things from the past version of me,
Okay.
even my customers.
Ah, yeah.
And so, yeah, I had no idea that I was going to retire. I had no idea in 2020 when COVID hit that it would be the best year of my life. I felt freedom. My phone stopped ringing. There were no emails. Nobody needed a jet for 3 months on their tour. It was the first time I was sleeping with my phone, going to the bathroom and showering with my phone, and my phone was turned off, and I was going on hikes and in waterfalls, and I didn't care about my phone. And so COVID was amazing. And then when the planes were start flying again and the phone started ringing, I had had this inner peace in me for about 6 months that I had never found, and there was no way I was going to give it up. So I literally shut down my company in 2020.
Wow.
I didn't even think about it. It was just, I'm no longer resonating with that. I can't do it, right? I had no idea. I just chose peace.
Yeah. Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like it was a good choice.
Every choice I've ever made is a good choice because it led me here, right?
Yeah.
But when you're going through it, people are going through it and you just don't know. You're like, what is happening? And it's okay but you have to actually ask these questions. right? And a lot of people just complain about their life. I'm a problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fixer.
Yeah.
I don't come, most people in my life don't hear complaints or things that I'm going through. I fix it and then just reappear,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm just built that way, right?
Yeah. Well, it's amazing to look at life that way because otherwise you're just complaining constantly. You're
I
miserable.
can't, yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
I
take
can't
it.
do it
It's so
either.
toxic. Yeah,
I
I have a very low tolerance now, because there's a part of me that just knows the answers, and
mm-hmm.
I just want to help them.
Help.
But a lot of people they don't want to do the work. That's all.
Yeah.
They just don't want to do the work. So I went 2 years where I didn't do anything. I was kind of doing free sessions.
Yeah.
I was so excited about gene keys and human design, and I was learning all this energy work, and I just wanted to do sessions on people and help them. And I did that for 2 years while I was learning not to work and be in this full-time mode that I had been in for 3 decades. And then one day, attuned guidance just landed in my mind, and I felt it. I just felt like, oh, attuned guidance. That's a platform. I'm supposed to open that. And I opened it that day. And I set up a website and my phone just started ringing off the hook. I mean, the universe, I was just kind of tapped in to this new part of the universe that was offering my soul tribe place to come and receive whatever they needed to receive.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. So you just brought it up, and I was just going to ask you. It's so funny. I'm thinking in my mind what I'm going to ask you, and you just say it. Brenda and I were talking earlier about how we've been on each other's wavelength like all day, and that
Yeah.
happens a lot when you're about ready to, connect with someone. But I
Yes.
felt it a lot today, and you brought up the gene keys. So I would love for you. Can you just share a quick summary for those people that are listening that may not know what the gene keys are? I know it's tied to human design. I have done shows on human design, but can you
Yeah.
just explain what are the gene keys?
Yeah. So the gene keys are designed by Richard Rudd, who is a beautiful mystic and poet, and he downloaded this system, and he used to work with human design and with Ra, and then he created this. He had an experience with the cosmos, with Source, for 3 days, and he downloaded this whole system, and it's 64 gene keys, and we all have all 64 gene keys, but there's a chart based on your birth time and date and place that gives you your specific kind of puzzle piece. It's kind of like a soul map, right? And it can kind of tell you what your life's work is, and your purpose, right? And you can, like for me, mine is a teacher and a guide, right? And I've been doing that since I was 6 years old. I was trying to help people, and my whole life. And even I caught myself the other day trying to help somebody, a stranger that I thought needed help, right? It's just innately in me to want to help people. And so when I had my first Gene Keys session, I just went, oh my God, there's absolutely nothing wrong with me. There never has been. I'm designed this way. It activated something in me to own every part of who I am, even my sensitivity, because my chart is I'm sensitive because I am. I have to feel and know things to be able to help people get out of their way, get out of their program. People want to hide things. Don't hide it. Be truthful. So the Gene Keys is taking you through, it's kind of one of the many tools you can use, right, in your
Yeah.
toolbox. There's not just one thing that wakes you up or unfolds and unwraps your big package here of wisdom, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's a gift and there's a CD and a gift and a shadow, and the shadow frequency is to work through to show you that what you're here to really learn, and the only way you work through your shadow is to shine the light on it and go through it. You got to go through the
Yep.
eye of the needle, and once you start unlocking the gifts, you're in the CD. The CD is kind of your essence, your wisdom, where you can kind of see yourself from a wider view. You have this conscious awareness of yourself. Your intentions are consciously happening. It's not just because somebody else is doing and saying it. You're not even comparing yourself to anybody. There's no competition. You're one with your own essence, right? Your own unfolding. And it helped me realize that everybody was always helping me the whole time. Even when I was stuck in my narrative that was negative, people were holding space to keep me stuck in it by amplifying it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So gene key, it's hard to explain gene keys in just a couple minutes,
I
but
know. Well, it's
yeah,
an in-depth study. Yeah.
it takes years, but it's a really more of rather than a study, it's an unfolding. It's a getting to know. People can go to genekeys.com and run their chart for free on Richard's site. And then there's all types of practitioners guides on his site. I'm on there, but there's many wonderful people that are doing Gene Keys readings on his site. And we all just are here to support each other. If you can see a kind of a soul map and appreciate how you're designed and own it, and know that that's your puzzle piece in the world, that's your flavor, and don't try to compare it against anybody else. That's an injustice to your soul's mission. Just authentically be you. And the Gene Keys helps me and my clients start to really appreciate how beautiful they are and how wonderful we all are, how we're designed perfectly for this vast experience of this awakening to our own power, our own truth.
Yeah. No, that's beautifully said. And so many of us, I think because the culture and the conditioned mind, or you could say the conditioned ego mind, wants to make it seem as all of us have to be normal inside a certain box, whatever the hell that means. I don't even know. But there's some kind of conditioning we all carry that we need to fit in with everybody else. We need to get in that group. We need to be like them. Or like you said, I don't feel like everybody else. And that's bad or that's not okay.
Yeah.
But this is offering gene keys. I know human design is similar. It's
Yes.
showing that you have this inherent like blueprint, right, of how you
Yeah.
are in the world. And when you find out and you read it or it's amazing, you go, oh, wow, well, that's spot on, or that makes sense of why I'm that way. And it's actually a good thing. And I've been told my whole life that it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of years watching the universe, watching all the people and watching them all try to act like each other and dress like each other and be like each other. And I never liked it, but I would always try to adapt because I
Mm-hmm.
was so different that I would try to jump in this circle or this and adapt. And I could hold that for a little while, but not very long. And then finally I would just be like, I can't pretend like this is asinine, right? And so but the one thing I knew about me is I was never crazy. Not once ever did I ever think that I was crazy.
Yeah.
I knew I was different and I didn't understand why.
Yeah.
And on my unfolding of my transformation that's been going on for a long time, I discover more and more why I'm different. And I have full acceptance of that. And so it's hard to watch the groups that are amplified in my experience now, how they're all alike, because inside their narrative, I can see how they're all individually beautiful and have so much to offer, but they're so afraid to be who they are.
Yes.
And so, yeah, we have to work with truth and we have to start asking bigger questions of ourselves. And we have to trust that we come from a creation that is so powerful that wants us. It's our birthright to know who we are. It's our birthright to live on Gaia free. And you have to discover that for yourself because it's been hidden from you.
Yeah. So how did the gene keys come along? Had you already found them before Hawaii, or what was the timeline?
No, on Hawaii, I had my first reading, like
Okay.
within a few weeks of moving there. And I went, I am perfect. There's nothing ever been wrong with me. It's right here. I have a map. This is why it like my whole chart was how I had been acting my whole life. The problem is I was vibrating in the shadow frequency. And the
Hmm.
shadow frequency is there to give you that experience. And I didn't know how to get out of the gift because I wasn't focusing on my shadows. I was focusing on everything outward that I could see. Why are
Yeah.
these people like this? Why do they act like this? Why? But I didn't realize that they were showing me that the reason I was even attracting them is because there was a part of me projecting it to come back, right? We're projecting our entire belief system, who we think we are, how we perceive life. We're projecting it out of us onto this screen of life, this
Yeah.
unified field, right? That
Yeah.
is so magical. And this screen that you're projecting your belief system can change in
Hmm.
any nano of a second, because you're in charge of it the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the magic is tapping in to how to do that. not to change them or anything out there or even the ones controlling all of this. Change ourselves inside. And then I literally witness the Mandela effect almost every day, which is showing your timeline jumping. You're in a new version of yourself inside this little 3D little minion world
Yeah.
with a more expanded, wider consciousness.
So you just said Mandela effect. So share your share the Mandela effect for the listeners because it's interesting.
Yeah, so a lot of people could relate to Mandela effect. There's a lot of studies that one group of people remember the Bernstein Bears or
Yeah.
spelled this way, or I don't experience the Mandela effect that way. But that gives you the analogy that there could be a group of people in one timeline. We're talking conscious awareness timeline. We're all here,
Hmm.
right? I don't leave my living room when I have a Mandela effect. I'm expanding my conscious awareness to another version of me that just appeared,
Yes. Hmm.
right?
I
And
love that.
so
Yeah.
a Mandela effect for me is when my script changes. I especially see that. And so when I'm working on something in my life for myself, immediately, because I'm so powerful and it happens so fast, everything around me, the script will change. So if I have a new goal, I'll go to the grocery store or the coffee shop, and the people behind the counter will start talking about what I'm talking about. If I come home and turn on a movie, it could be a series that I've been watching. The script changes on the
Yep.
TV to match my script because I'm the one projecting out. So if you were sitting on the couch watching the same movie with me, you'd be hearing a different narrative
Hmm.
than I would be. You'd be getting different hits, right?
Right.
Um, and so when I start rewriting, when I start manifesting or drawing what belongs to me, what's already mine to me, the universe shows up and it starts talking about it and the script changes. And that's
Yep.
my little scavenger hunt to follow this. And oh my God, I'm so freaking close to that. It's unbelievable what she just said.
Yeah.
And so what will happen is I'll come home and something will be moved and I live alone, or a color will be different on a commercial. A
Yeah.
commercial will have the most vibrant colors you've never seen in your life. And I know immediately I just stepped into that timeline. I'm in that conscious awareness of what I've just been working on. And I just know it. You just know it. It's a sense, it's energy. You just know. But I'm still standing in the same living room, but it's like, and then I see myself in a different way. I
Yeah.
feel different and it's magical. And so that unfolding happens in the field when you're not tapped into the negativity, the
Hmm.
fear, you're tapped into the magic all around you that's
Yeah.
guiding you,
Right.
right? And so the field it must show me what I'm creating. It has to.
Yeah. Well, and
It's
then
the
you're
quantum field.
and that leads to synchronicities that just start everything starts popping up. Well,
They pop up. They put the synchronicities pop up, and they start with angel numbers and then they amplify. Um, Yesterday, I got a couple little signs, and I was like, oh, and I knew yesterday I was a student. And so in my living room, I was like, wow, I'm really learning something big today. I'm a student today. I'm not a teacher today. This is amazing. I love learning. And I got in my car and I was driving somewhere, and all these cars were going around this car just, randomly. And I ended up behind this student driver. It said student driver. And I went, I'm staying right here. And then
I'm
all
a
of a sudden
student.
I went, oh, because I said I'm a student, the universe was saying, yes, you're a student today. And what that did was show me I really need to bring my conscious awareness to what's happening all around me because there are some synchronicities happening and I don't want to miss them.
They're
Right?
always there. They are
They're always
always
there.
there.
You just
And
have to learn how to tap into them, right?
well, that and sometimes it's like learning to shut up a little bit in your mind and just stay open because when you're constantly thinking you know everything, you miss it. You're missing what's being communicated to you. At least I've
Yeah.
experienced that.
I don't know anything past today because tomorrow I just turn into new versions of myself. I offload stuff. I learn new stuff. Yeah, I'm just fluid and flowing with the unified field because I know that whatever I say is going to show up. I know that this is going to make everything appear, bad,
Yeah.
good, or indifferent. I know that, right?
Yeah.
I experience it. And then when you have dreams, your timeline jumping and metaphoric dreams come in your dream, which this is the dream. But we
We're
think
in the
when we
dream.
sleep, we're dreaming, but
Yeah.
this is the illusion dream that you need to dream the bigger dream in the illusion. And so your dreams bring in these magical, metaphoric messages also.
Right.
It's just a dance with the wisdom, the cosmos. You can literally, so I just got a thing of swing dancing. You could just swing dance with it
Yeah.
all day, right? And I've never done any swing dancing, but that's what sometimes my soul shows me. Just swing dance with the
Swing dance.
universe. And this person says something you don't like, go, why would I care?
Yeah.
Why do I care what they said? Why is it hitting me? It's in me? What's it showing me about myself, right? What do I do along the same lines?
Exactly. And you can't control what somebody thinks of you anyway. So what's the point of worrying
Well, they're
about it?
helping you. They're a mirror. So we wouldn't, if I never left my house, I would never see myself. I wouldn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to interact with people. So we're interacting with all the other parts of ourself, the one creation, that very light of creation that is in everyone and everything is interacting with itself to come back to remembrance of how powerful we are so that we can create a better world for everybody that's more fair.
Yeah.
Like it just needs to be more people, it's your birthright to live on earth and to have fresh water and clean food and to be kind and happy, right? And I want the suffering to leave. And I know people think that's naive, but I just never have enjoyed watching people struggle and suffer.
Oh,
And
it's
so
awful. Yeah. It is an awful thing.
it's hard to watch when you know that we can change it. But I'm just here to, help as many people discover the magic within them. It truly is like you have a little magic wand, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your story is amazing because it sounds like it was absolutely meant to be, just like all of us, right? Everything we're
Yeah.
going through. And that's something I think to reiterate to everybody listening is whatever you're going through is meant to happen. And it's all about shifting out of that, heavy mind that wants to negate everything and open up to the possibilities that really do exist here, which is
Yeah.
endless. Right? There's endless ways to do anything and think about, I get kind of, I don't know about you, I get irritated when I hear people think like, oh, there's just this way or that way. I'm like, what? No, there's infinite ways to do something.
That's the hook. That's
Yeah.
the hook that
Yeah.
you only have this choice or this choice. You can be that or that, right? And this is just a narrative playing out. But the unified field wants you to be your best. And if you don't believe you can do it, then you can't do it. It's based on what you believe, and that's what's projected out of you as your own belief system,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, people just have to be more open and willing to do a little bit of work and really start holding yourself accountable for what you're saying, what you're doing, how you're acting all day. Don't complain about somebody else when you do the same thing,
Well, and that's
right?
typically what's happening. you know, have you ever noticed too, people complain about the very things they do all the time? I mean,
Well, so yeah, your soul will show you the same thing over and over again. Because I used to, when I moved to Maui and I met a few friends, I was like, how can I attract the same people I just left in Florida here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? And I went, wait a minute, it's me. It's
mm-hmm.
me. And that I literally knew it. I saw it and I was like, I am not, this is it, right? I'm not
Yeah.
attracting this anymore. Right. So I just started really focusing on myself, and anybody that triggered me, I would run towards them because I want to know why you're triggering me. Why is it bothering me? Why is it coming up? And then I would lock myself in my house for 3 days and I would work on myself and I would start to unpack that program. Like, who's saying that in there? Who's the one talking?
Yeah.
I don't feel this way. I don't want to experience this. Who is that? And I just started questioning everything,
Well, and
right?
that's key what you're saying, and you said it earlier in the show too, is asking questions. So when you get in that frame of mind and you're inquiring about your own mind is when everything starts to shift. Just the mere fact that you're asking the question, right? And then you say, as you said, the universe or whatever you want to call it is showing you the answers. I mean, it really is if you just listen for it or watch for it.
I don't go through a day where I don't get delicious signs and just confirmations that I picked up the right puzzle piece and that picks up another one. And by the way, you can't get it wrong. Let's just like help your listeners. So imagine when you have a new address and somebody wants you to come to their house and they give you their address and you plug it in your GPS system, right? And you're driving and the GPS system says go right and you accidentally go left. And then as soon as you turn around, the GPS system starts to recalibrate, right? And
Hmm.
it puts you back on track. That's what your soul does. Your soul has, so your end game is kind of planned out, which is what the human design and gene keys and astrology and natal charts all kind of give you a kind of a little bit of window of where you're going and why. But the trajectories you're going through the experience. But if you make a wrong turn, just like the GPS, your soul will open up, the universe will open up a new trajectory. There's all these trajectories to get you to that end point.
Yeah.
You can't get it wrong. It's just how many times do you want to take the left turn when it's telling you to go right? How many times do you want to keep recalibrating and running down the wrong roads? That's a conscious decision to look at yourself, not the people in your life, yourself in your life, and why you're even attracting them. Because I'm the magnet,
Yeah.
right? I'm attracting all of it for me to see how powerful I am, to change it. And it's to look at myself, to have self-awareness like you never have before,
Yeah.
without criticism, without judgment, without picking myself apart, knowing that this is teaching me and I can't get there without this.
Yeah.
And not being harsh and allowing the unfolding, because sometimes it's gooey and sometimes it's
Oh,
icky.
it's
But the
rough.
light at the end is like, whoa, I got through another one. Look, we're on a soul mission. We're here to evolve. And evolving it has, its experiences and changes. If you can just wake up every day and go, who am I going to meet today? Who's going to teach me more about myself? What do you have in store for me, universe? Show me how good it can get. What's available? Give me some new ideas, new opportunities. When you can live from that, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it will show. But if you're on the phone and on your music and you're just distracted, you miss all the juicy details, right?
Well, you miss it. And you're also, if you're a person who's like, you have to have the control over what happens to you and you need that expectation and that outcome,
You got to
forget it.
surrender because we
Yeah.
talked about that. If you want to get out of the control of the system, you got to get out of the control of your own
Own
mind,
mind. Yeah, I find
right?
that interesting too. A lot of people, constantly complaining about the government and everything. And I get it. There can be awful governments. But the real thing is in your daily life, is the government really involved with it? Like you're
No.
just walking around and I don't know about you, Brenda, but I'm walking around. I don't see a lot of terrible things. Really, people are just doing their thing. So I'm like, get out of the conditioning and just live. And like you said, you're just shifting and seeing what the universe is teaching me today or what spirit is showing me.
Look, you attract who you are, not what you want. Period.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so you have to become what you want, to be a magnet for what is already yours. When I say I don't chase, I attract, I know what already is for me, but I have to become a vibrational match for that. So if I'm in a bad mood and it's okay for if I want to be in a bad mood, I'm fully aware that if I leave my house in a bad mood, I'm going to attract more bad mood people.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in a hurry and I'm running late, I know that I'm going to get caught in traffic. I
Yeah.
just know it. I know how it works, right?
Yeah.
And so I switch it before I leave the house. You can turn it just like that, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm in the flow and I say I'm in the flow. I always run on time. I have the nicest people around me driving, in other words. And it's a practice. You start doing enough that you'll have enough evidence. People have enough evidence after doing a few sessions where they come to me and go, thought you were crazy. And now I know you're speaking full truth.
Yeah.
Because people have to catch themselves blocking themselves.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, you're right.
They have to catch the robber coming through the front door, which is your mind. You have
Yeah.
to catch yourself, tricking yourself, trapping yourself. You have to identify yourself as that egoic program and question it like, who are you? How'd you get in my head? Who's saying that? Because when you start asking questions, when you get a random thought that's not yours and you ask a question, it can't answer.
Yeah.
Because the mind only knows what's been deposited in the program all these years.
Yeah.
And when you're open for new and I'm open and I'm flowing and I allow the universe, I'm transparent, I am fluid and I want new opportunities. The mind can't stop you because it doesn't know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. You know,
Yeah.
you said something about, becoming and being what you want in your life, which is, I think, where a lot of people get hung up and the word manifestation gets tossed all around. Today it's like every other person's using that term. But
Yeah.
I think of it more like, because I've done this in my own life, I envision a room the way that I want it, or you know what I'm saying? You're creating and envisioning something already, and you're feeling it. You're already there, even though it hasn't happened yet. So, can you share for the listeners kind of what you do if you want something to change in your life, or you envision something, or how do you go about it? I know you said you feel it, but maybe you could explain a little bit more.
Yeah, so there's a lot of parts to that
Hmm.
that all line up. So this whole manifestation thingy, I feel like I'm more of a magnet for what belongs to me.
Yeah.
And if I need another lesson on something I'm not getting, then I'm gonna be a magnet for that person that's gonna give me the lesson that's gonna trigger me. I'm a constant magnet. And so when you're aware that you're a magnet, you're consciously aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and your words, right? The Four Agreements is a great book, right? Because the first one is be impeccable with your word to
Hmm.
yourself and to others, because that's creating your script.
Yeah.
It's all just a big script playing out for you to see. You're the projection, projecting it out on the screen of life, right? And then two, don't take anything personal, right? That's the hardest one for everybody. I
It
used to
is.
take everything personal. How come I'm so nice to people and they're so mean to me? Well, they were mean to me because I was mean to myself behind closed doors. I was self-critical. So of course they're going to be
Yeah.
mean to me until I can see myself being mean to me, right? You have to take the attention off the other person. And the third agreement, we'll just go through the agreements, is don't assume anything.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about anybody else. Just get to know your own stuff. Stay out of everybody's
I
business,
know.
right?
Uh-huh.
Seriously.
I
And
know.
the fourth one is just show up and do the best you can every day. You're just in an experience. You can't get it wrong. I've never made a wrong move. I've never said anything wrong in my life. I live by that. I embody that I get to be who I am every day. And the only way I get to know me is to bump into things.
Yeah.
It's the only way I'm ever going to see myself. So I want to bump into whatever I need to bump into, and I want to be victorious when it's time for me to be victorious. So first you dismantle the narrative that's playing and you rewrite a new narrative. So you could journal and write down what you want. And then visualizing is really good first thing in the morning and right before you're going to bed because you're kind of in that space where you know, you're out of your head, right? I
Yeah.
actually drive now with no music
Hmm.
because my left brain is driving the car. We don't have to remember. And then my right brain, I just get so many downloads when I'm in the car.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
my
Because
left
it's
brain is so
trance.
busy. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just driving and going here and knows where it's going. My right
Yeah.
brain, I just get so much that I have to get my phone out and I have to record and dictate what's
Yeah.
coming in for me, right? It's so magical. So everybody will find their own rhythm. Some people do it with movement and yoga and dance. Some people do it sitting in eye open meditation. But for me, I visualize what I want and I practice it in my daily life. So if I was going to go to a party and I went, oh, so and so and so and so is going to be there, and I know they're going to be like this, and I'm already predetermining how they're going to show up,
Yeah.
I'm attracting that to myself. So for me, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to go to that party and I know there's going to be lovely people there, but this is who I'm going to be a magnet for. I'm going to meet a new person today and I embody the energy that I want to. And usually the people that I was worried about, they're in the corner. They never even saw me.
Yeah.
They're not written in my script for that. Even though I'm in somebody else's party in somebody else's house, I'm in my own timeline in my own script and I've created it before I ever walked through their front door.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have a hard time. It's what I teach because you have to understand how it works that you're writing your script every nanosecond, whether you're awake or asleep. Because when you're sleeping, your subconscious mind is running 95% of your experience. And you're having 60,000 to 100,000 thoughts a day that are in the subconscious, that are in the program. If you're not questioning them and wonder why things are happening, then you're just on autopilot.
Yeah. You're literally on autopilot.
Yeah, and by
Cruise
the way, and that's
control.
okay if
Yeah.
that's what people want to live, but then don't complain about it. But if you want to empower yourself,
Yeah.
and you want to realize that you're just a magician, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to learn how to dismantle the program that's blocking you and rewrite the script. And by the way, my script changes all the time because I'm completely fluid. I am not in control of anything
Yeah.
anymore. I'm just having fun with life and helping as many people as I can find their magic. That's
Yeah.
it, right? That's what we're here to do. And then hopefully enough of us awaken with our magic abilities and we create a better earth for everybody. And then we don't
Yeah.
care what the 1% that's controlling everything is doing because from our heart, from our energetic field, from our wisdom, we're activated and we're creating.
Yeah. And we really
Because
don't
the
care what
universe will
else.
just be talking to us. What's ever
Yeah.
happening over there is happening over there, and we're creating something new over here. You're living a multi-dimensional life
Yeah.
all the time. It doesn't turn off. The switch doesn't turn off. We're here.
Exactly. Well, you can definitely see, for those of you that see this video, or if you're listening on audio, you can just see the radiance coming from you, Brenda, that you're very passionate about helping everybody. So, anybody listening, I want you to share where we can find you. And also, I want to mention you're also in the latest book, Awakened Hearts, Volume 2, right? We were
With
actually,
you,
that's
yes,
where
with
we
you.
met. Yeah,
Yeah.
we met through Awakened Magazine. And yeah, share where we can find you. And I know you offer lots of things on your site, so maybe you can just kind of go through it real quick.
Oh, thank you so much. By the way, I feel your essence also. You know, we're all magicians. We're all magical. It's our birthright to tap into our power and our knowing. And we have to know all parts of ourselves. And the when we shine the light on the dark parts, they just implode into this mystical, magical wisdom, right? And in the darkness, there's wisdom, right? And when you shine the light on it, it tells you why you went through that. I wouldn't even be able to sit here or sit in session if I actually hadn't gone through most of the things that I'm teaching people. I teach them how I learned from myself. It's my expression. It works for some. A lot of people don't like the truth, but the truth doesn't have to be dangerous and bad. The truth kind of sets us free. So my platform is called attunedguidance.com. And I have some beautiful courses for people that don't want to do session, that don't have time for sessions. They're lifetime access. I think they're 20 minutes each one. And so I have 4 courses: Mastering Triggers, Your Vibration Matters, because that's how you attract your life. The Mastering Triggers will help you dismantle the program. And then Signs and Synchronicities is like the funnest, most
Yay.
magical. And then I have the mirror reflection, discovering yourself in others. If you can do the mirror work and discover yourself in every person you come in contact with, whether you know them or not. So those courses are lovely but they're repetitive. They're taking you through a pattern to break the old pattern. So you do have to do a little bit of work, but I kept them quite short and very affordable, for people that don't want to go into extensive, online, one-on-one personal
Yeah.
sessions. So yeah.
Well, that's great. You have a little bit of everything and a little bit for everybody and their style of learning, right? Is
Right. Yeah. Because
important.
everybody just put a few things in your toolbox. Everybody just don't worry. You'll know what your next step is. Don't worry about when's the next crumb, what's the scavenger hunt. Just close a couple doors, set a couple boundaries, put a couple tools in your toolbox. You might buy a course and then not even open it for a few months. It's just preparing you. Remember, you're putting the soul's putting the address in the GPS. And so sometimes you'll get books and things and put it on the shelf. There'll be that day when you'll see that book on the shelf and your soul will go, pull it down, because in that moment, you're actually open to receive whatever you're going to read.
Yep.
But maybe you bought it months in advance. So your soul will always prepare you. But you've got to tap into the silent part of yourself, the whisper, the soul whispers. The world is chaotic and
Uh,
noisy, but that soul whisper, it belongs to you.
yeah. Well, that's a great place for us to wrap up today. And I thank you so much, Brenda. It's been just so
Thank
lovely
you.
having this
Oh my
conversation.
gosh. Yeah,
And
amazing.
I will make sure to link all of your information in the show notes. So everybody check it out. And thanks
Thank
again. Come
you.
back anytime, Brenda. I'd love to have you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.